Have you ever felt invisible, like someone you cared about suddenly stopped seeing your worth? They ignore you, they pull away, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Stop. Right. There. You're not here to beg for attention or chase people who don't deserve a second glance. Today, I'm giving you the ultimate playbook. 12 unapologetic steps to flip the script, reclaim your power, and become the kind of man no one dares to ignore. Relationships today are a battlefield, and the rules, they're rigged against you. Everyone tells you to be the nice guy, to keep chasing, to prove your worth. But look where that's gotten you. Ignored, overlooked, taken for granted. It's time to rewrite the rules and take back control. This video is not for the weak. It's for men who are tired of being walked over. If you're ready to stop chasing and start winning, listen carefully. By the end of these 12 steps, you'll know exactly how to command respect in any situation. And if you're serious about changing your life, subscribe right now. Supporting this channel helps YouTube recommend this content to others who need it the most. Type "I'm in control" in the comments if you're ready to own your power. Now let's get started. Step 1. Stop explaining yourself. Stop wasting your energy trying to explain your worth to someone who doesn't recognize it. When you explain yourself, you are essentially begging for validation. It's like standing in front of someone who's already decided they don't care and trying to convince them otherwise. Let me make this clear. When someone pulls away, your instinct to chase and justify is your downfall. You're telling them, loud and clear, your approval matters more to me than my own self-respect. That's not power, it's weakness. Think of a man who holds his ground. Picture him in a room where everyone is vying for attention, but he stays silent, confident, unmoved. That man doesn't need to explain his actions or seek anyone's approval. He walks away from situations that don't serve him. Be that man. If someone questions your actions or tries to diminish your value, say less. Your silence says more than your words ever could. Let's say someone accuses you of not caring because you didn't chase them when they pulled away. Instead of explaining, respond with silence or a calm, direct statement. I don't chase anyone. My value speaks for itself. Leave it at that. No follow-up, no long-winded justification. You've planted the seed of doubt in their mind. They'll start questioning themselves. Why isn't he fighting for me? Did I misjudge his worth? The moment they start thinking like that, you've already won. Here's the truth most men miss. The need to explain yourself comes from insecurity. You're afraid they'll misunderstand you, that they'll leave, or that they'll think less of you. But why should you care? A high-value man doesn't concern himself with the opinions of people who don't respect him. He knows his worth. He walks away and lets his actions speak louder than words. Every time you explain yourself, you're giving away your power. Stop, take a breath, and ask yourself, do I really need to justify myself to someone who can't see my value? The answer is no. Walk away with your head held high. You'll find that silence is far more effective than any argument you could ever make. Step 2. Master the art of silence. Silence is your greatest weapon. It's a statement of strength, control, and confidence. When someone pulls away, they expect you to chase, to call, to text, to beg for answers. That's what most men do. But you're not most men. You're about to show them what it means to be truly unforgettable. When you stop responding, something incredible happens. They start to feel the void of your absence. That silence you create isn't empty, it's deafening. It forces them to sit with their thoughts, to question their decisions, to wonder if they made a mistake. Every minute they don't hear from you is a minute they spend thinking about you. Imagine this scenario. Someone you care about pulls back. Your instinct is to reach out, to ask what's wrong, to bridge the gap. But instead, you do nothing. Days go by, then weeks. You go about your life, working, improving yourself, focusing on what matters. Meanwhile, they're left wondering why you haven't called. They check their phone, expecting a message. Nothing. They start to question themselves. Did I misjudge him? Is he moving on without me? Silence creates curiosity. Curiosity leads to doubt. Doubt leads to regret. And regret, that's where your power lies. By saying nothing, you've flipped the script. They're the ones chasing answers now, not you. But silence isn't just about withholding words. It's about mastering your emotions. When someone distances themselves, it's natural to feel hurt, angry, or confused. But those emotions don't belong to them. They belong to you. Don't let them see you sweat. Don't give them the satisfaction of knowing they've affected you. Instead, channel that energy into yourself. Hit the gym, learn a skill, build something extraordinary. While they're sitting around wondering what you're up to, you're out there becoming the man they'll regret losing. Here's where most men fail. They break the silence too soon. They get impatient. They send a just checking in text or post something on social media to get a reaction. Don't fall into that trap. Every time you break the silence, you give away your power. Stay strong. Let the silence stretch. Let it become unbearable for them. The longer you hold out, the more they'll crave your attention. Silence isn't about playing games. It's about taking control. It's about showing them that you're not desperate, that you're not at their beck and call, that you don't need them to validate your worth. And when they finally reach out, and they will, you get to decide how to respond. Maybe you give them a second chance. Maybe you don't. Either way, you're in control. This is where you separate yourself from the average man. The average man begs for attention. He fills the silence with meaningless words, hoping to win someone back. But you let the silence do the work for you. You let them come to you on your terms. And when they do, they'll see you in a completely different light. Not as someone they can take for granted, but as someone they can't afford to lose. Silence is power. Use it wisely. Every second you stay silent, you're reclaiming your energy, your dignity, and your self-respect. And in the end, that's what makes you truly unforgettable. Step 3. Reclaim your time. Time is the one currency you can never earn back. Yet most men spend it like they have an endless supply. They waste hours scrolling through social media, checking for replies, or staring at their phones waiting for a call that might never come. And for what? For someone who clearly doesn't value their time. It's a losing game, and every second you waste is a second you'll never see again. Think about this. Every moment you spend obsessing over why someone isn't texting back or why they're pulling away is time you could be using to build the life you deserve. While you're waiting, they're moving on, living their life unbothered. You, however, are stuck, and that's the problem. You've made their attention your priority when it should be your time that takes precedence. Reclaiming your time isn't just about cutting out distractions. It's about redefining your focus. Imagine if you spent the hours you waste on pointless overthinking, working on your fitness, building your career, or mastering a new skill. Instead of chasing someone's approval, you're chasing your goals. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You stop caring about the people who don't value you. Why? Because you've built a life so fulfilling they no longer matter. Here's how you do it. The next time you catch yourself wasting time on someone who's distant, stop, put the phone down, get up and do something that pushes you forward. Hit the gym, read a book that sharpens your mind, work on a side hustle. These aren't just distractions, they're investments in yourself. And the more you invest in yourself, the more valuable you become. When you reclaim your time, you send a clear message. My time is mine, and no one has the right to waste it. People notice when you stop being readily available, and suddenly you're not just another option. They see you as someone with purpose, someone who's going places. And here's the kicker. The more you focus on yourself, the less you care about their attention. You don't need it because you're too busy creating a life that's bigger than any one person. Think of time as a mirror. When you waste it chasing someone, you reflect insecurity. But when you spend it wisely, on growth, on purpose, on yourself, you reflect confidence. And confidence is magnetic. When someone who ignored you sees you thriving, building and improving, they start to question their own decisions. Suddenly, they want to be part of the life you're building. But by then, it's too late. You've moved on, and they're left chasing a version of you they can't have. Time is power. Reclaim it, and you reclaim your life. Step 4. Raise your standards. Standards are the invisible boundaries that define how people treat you. If your standards are low, you're giving everyone around you permission to disrespect you. If you tolerate excuses, last-minute cancellations, or half-hearted effort, that's all you'll ever get. But when you raise your standards, everything changes. Here's the truth most men are afraid to admit. The reason people treat you poorly is because you let them. You teach others how to treat you by what you accept. If you accept mediocrity, they'll give you mediocrity. If you accept disrespect, they'll keep disrespecting you. But when you set the bar high, when you make it clear that you won't tolerate anything less than mutual respect, they have two choices: rise to meet your standards or leave. Raising your standards isn't about arrogance, it's about self-respect. It's about saying, I deserve better and I won't settle for less. And this doesn't just apply to relationships. It applies to every area of your life, your friendships, your career, your health. They all reflect the standards you set for yourself. Let's talk relationships. If someone is inconsistent, if they only reach out when it's convenient for them, or if they constantly flake on plans, they're showing you their standards. And if you accept that behavior, you're showing them yours. High-value men don't chase people who can't even meet the basics of respect and effort. They walk away, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Because a man who values himself doesn't have time for people who don't. Raising your standards also means holding yourself accountable. You can't demand respect from others if you're not respecting yourself. Are you taking care of your body? Are you pushing yourself in your career? Are you setting goals and following through on them? High standards start with you. When you demand excellence from yourself, it becomes easier to demand it from others. Here's a practical move. Write down your non-negotiables. These are the things you won't tolerate under any circumstances. Maybe it's dishonesty, lack of effort, or disrespect. Whatever they are, make them clear to yourself and to others. When someone crosses a boundary, don't explain, don't argue, and don't negotiate. Walk away. Your standards are not up for debate. When you raise your standards, you might lose people, and that's a good thing, because the ones who leave are the ones who were never meant to stay. They couldn't meet the bar, and that's their problem, not yours. But the ones who rise to the challenge, those are the people worth keeping in your life. High standards attract high-quality people. When you make it clear that you're not here to settle, you filter out the ones who don't deserve your time. And in their place, you attract people who respect you, who value you, who see you for the high-value man you are. So raise the bar. Stop accepting less than you deserve. Because the moment you do, everything and everyone around you will start to rise with it. Step 5. Embrace the distance. Distance is where clarity is born. When someone pulls away, your first instinct might be to close the gap, to chase them, to force the connection back into place. That instinct is what kills your value. Distance isn't your enemy, it's your greatest ally. When they create space, you don't rush to fill it. You use it. You let that space work for you. Imagine this. They stop texting, and instead of responding with a flood of messages or desperate calls, you pull back too. You create an even larger gap. At first, they might not notice, but as time goes on, that space becomes unbearable. They start to wonder what you're doing, why you're not chasing, why you're not fighting to keep them. That's the beauty of distance. It forces them to question everything. But here's the secret most men never learn. Distance isn't about them. It's about you. It's about giving yourself the space to see the situation for what it really is. When someone pulls away, they're showing you their priorities. They're showing you exactly where you stand in their life. And instead of reacting emotionally, you take that distance as an opportunity to reevaluate. Do they align with your goals, your standards, your values? Are they truly worth the energy you're putting into them? When you embrace the distance, you're not just walking away, you're walking towards clarity. You're giving yourself the gift of perspective. And with that perspective, you start to see the truth. Maybe they weren't as invested as you thought. Maybe they were taking you for granted. Or maybe they were never meant to stay in your life in the first place. Whatever the case, the distance reveals it all. But distance isn't just about clarity, it's about control. When someone creates space, they expect you to panic. They expect you to chase, to beg, to try to fix things. But when you do the opposite, when you stay calm and embrace the gap, you take back control of the situation. They're no longer in the driver's seat. You are. And that shift in power is what makes you unforgettable. Here's the truth. People only miss what they don't have. As long as you're always there, always chasing, always filling the gap, they'll never feel your absence. But when you embrace the distance, you give them the chance to feel what life is like without you. And that's when they start to realize your value. That's when they start to regret pulling away. To embrace the distance is to choose yourself. It's to say, I don't need anyone who doesn't need me. It's to stand firm in your worth and let the chips fall where they may. Some people might never come back, and that's okay. Their absence is a gift. It clears the way for the right people to enter your life. But the ones who do come back, they'll come back stronger, more committed, and more aware of what they almost lost. When someone distances themselves, don't fight it. Embrace it. Use that time to focus on yourself, to grow, to build, to become the best version of you. Because when you do, you'll find that the people who truly matter will always make their way back. And the ones who don't, they were never worth your time to begin with. Step 6. Build mystery. Mystery is power. In a world where everyone overshares, where every thought, every emotion, every action is broadcast on social media, being mysterious is a lost art. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. When someone can't figure you out, when they don't know what you're thinking, what you're doing, or who you're with, they can't stop thinking about you. You become the unanswered question they can't let go of. Building mystery starts with pulling back. Stop sharing every detail of your life. Stop posting about where you are, what you're doing, or how you're feeling. The less they know, the more they wonder. And the more they wonder, the more they're drawn to you. Imagine this. They check your social media, expecting to see what you've been up to, and find nothing. No updates, no stories, no clues. Suddenly, their mind starts racing. What's he doing? Who's he with? Why hasn't he posted anything? That curiosity creates a pull they can't resist. They start looking for answers, and in their search, they become obsessed. But mystery isn't just about withholding information. It's about being unpredictable. If they think they know you, prove them wrong. Change your routines. Say no when you used to say yes. Show up in places they wouldn't expect. Keep them guessing. The less predictable you are, the more intriguing you become. Building mystery also means controlling your emotions. When someone tries to provoke you, when they push your buttons or test your limits, don't react. Stay calm, composed, and unbothered. Let them wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and why they can't seem to get a reaction out of you. That composure is magnetic. It makes them want to dig deeper, to understand you, to get closer to you. Here's what most men get wrong about mystery. They think it's about playing games or being manipulative. It's not. It's about protecting your energy, your time, and your privacy. It's about knowing that not everyone deserves access to you. When you're selective about what you share and who you share it with, you create an aura of exclusivity, and people are naturally drawn to what they can't have. Mystery isn't just attractive, it's unforgettable. Think about the last time someone left you with more questions than answers. Did you forget about them? Or did they stay on your mind, replaying in your thoughts, making you wonder what you missed? That's the power of mystery. It lingers, it captivates, it makes people want more. But building mystery isn't just about how others see you, it's about how you see yourself. When you hold back, when you protect your privacy and keep some things to yourself, you create a sense of self-respect that others can't ignore. You're not just another open book. They have to work to understand you, to get close to you, to earn your trust. And that effort is what makes you valuable. In a world where everyone is desperate for attention, be the man who doesn't need it. Be the man who keeps them guessing, who stays one step ahead, who leaves them wanting more. Build mystery, and you'll find that people can't help but be drawn to you. They'll chase you, they'll wonder about you, and they'll never be able to forget you. Because mystery isn't just a tactic, it's a way of being. And when you master it, you become unstoppable. Step 7. Strengthen your mindset. The battle is won or lost in your mind long before it's played out in your life. If your mindset is weak, your actions will be weak. If your mindset is unshakable, you become unstoppable. A strong mind is the foundation of everything you want to achieve. Without it, every challenge feels like an obstacle. With it, every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Most men falter because they let external circumstances control their internal state. Someone ignores them, and suddenly they feel worthless. Someone pulls away, and they start questioning their value. This is the behavior of a man who hasn't mastered his mind. If you allow the actions of others to dictate how you feel, you're handing them the keys to your life. And that's unacceptable. To strengthen your mindset, you must first understand this. Your value isn't determined by how others treat you. It's determined by how you treat yourself. If you rely on someone else's validation to feel good about yourself, you're building your confidence on a shaky foundation. But when your confidence comes from within, when it's rooted in your own sense of worth, no one can take it away from you. Start by taking full responsibility for your emotions. If someone's actions upset you, don't blame them. Look inward and ask yourself why their behavior has the power to affect you. Is it because you've tied your happiness to their approval? Is it because you're seeking something from them that you should be giving yourself? The moment you stop blaming others and start owning your reactions, you take back your power. Discipline is the next step in strengthening your mindset. A disciplined man doesn't let his emotions control him. He controls his emotions. He doesn't act on impulse or let momentary feelings dictate his decisions. Instead, he takes a step back, assesses the situation, and responds with clarity and purpose. This kind of self-control is rare, and it's what sets high-value men apart from the rest. Here's how you build discipline. Start small. Set daily goals and stick to them, no matter how you feel. If you said you'd wake up at 5 a.m. and hit the gym, do it, even if you're tired. If you said you'd spend an hour learning a new skill, do it, even if you don't feel like it. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you're training your mind to be stronger than your emotions. And over time, this discipline will bleed into every area of your life. A strong mindset is also built on self-awareness. You need to know who you are, what you stand for, and what you want. If you're unclear about these things, you'll be easily swayed by others. Take time to reflect on your values, your goals, and your vision for your life. Write them down, revisit them often, and use them as a guide for every decision you make. When you know what you stand for, you become unshakable. Mindset is everything. It's the difference between a man who crumbles under pressure and a man who thrives in the face of adversity. Strengthen your mind, and you strengthen your life. Step 8. Stop being readily available. Nothing devalues a man faster than being too accessible. When you're always available, you send the message that your time isn't valuable. You become predictable, easy, and worst of all, forgettable. If you want to command respect and attention, you need to make your time scarce. People value what they can't have. If you're always there, always responding, always waiting, they'll take you for granted. The key to becoming less available is to prioritize yourself. If you're constantly putting others ahead of your own needs, you're teaching them that their time is more important than yours. Stop doing that. Your time is your most valuable asset, and you need to treat it as such. When someone reaches out, don't drop everything to respond. When someone asks for your time, don't always say yes. Learn to say no, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Being less available doesn't mean playing games. It means having a life so full, so rich, and so purposeful that you don't have time to cater to everyone else's whims. It means putting your goals, your growth, and your happiness first. When you're focused on building your empire, you naturally become less accessible. And that inaccessibility is what makes you desirable. Think about this. When you're always available, people know they can have your attention whenever they want. There's no urgency, no need to prioritize you because they know you'll always be there. But when you pull back, when you make them wait, when you show them that your time is a privilege, they start to see you differently. They start to value you. If someone texts you, don't reply instantly. If someone calls, don't always pick up. Let them wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're not at their beck and call. That mystery, that unpredictability, is what keeps people hooked. It's what makes them chase you instead of the other way around. Here's the bottom line. Your time is your power. Don't give it away so easily. Step 9. Outgrow them. The best revenge isn't anger, it's success. When someone distances themselves from you, don't waste your time trying to pull them back. Use that time to outgrow them. Work on yourself so relentlessly that when they see you again, they don't recognize the man you've become. Outgrowing someone isn't about proving them wrong, it's about proving yourself right. It's about becoming so focused on your goals, your growth, and your potential that their absence feels like a gift. They gave you the time and space to become the best version of yourself. Thank them silently and move on. Start by setting clear, ambitious goals for yourself. Whether it's in your career, your fitness, or your personal development, commit to leveling up in every area of your life. Write down what you want to achieve, break it into actionable steps, and get to work. Every day, focus on getting one step closer to your goals. As you progress, you'll notice something incredible. The people who once ignored you will start to notice you, but by then, you won't care. When you outgrow someone, you're not just moving past them, you're moving into a life that's bigger, better, and more fulfilling than anything they could have offered. You're surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, who push you, who elevate you, and in doing so, you're creating a future that's so bright, it leaves no room for the people who couldn't see your worth. Here's the truth. The people who pull away from you are doing you a favor. They're clearing the path for your growth. They're giving you the space to become the man you were meant to be. Don't waste that opportunity. Use it. Let their absence be the fuel that drives you to succeed. Outgrow them, and you'll find that the life you build for yourself is far more rewarding than any relationship you've ever had. Outgrow them, and you'll realize that their departure wasn't a loss. It was a gift. Outgrow them, and you'll become the man they wish they hadn't taken for granted. Step 10. Show no emotion. When someone distances themselves from you, their greatest power lies in your reaction. The moment you let your emotions take over, the moment you show frustration, anger, sadness, or desperation, you hand over the power they were testing in the first place. Emotion is leverage. Whoever controls the emotional dynamic controls the relationship. If you want to flip the script, you need to master the art of detachment. Showing no emotion doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending to be something you're not. It means controlling your reactions and channeling your energy into actions that elevate you rather than weaken you. The next time someone tries to test your emotional stability, respond with calm indifference. When they expect you to be upset, you remain collected. When they want you to argue, you offer nothing but silence. When they try to provoke a reaction, you give them peace. Picture this. They ignore your text or leave you on read for hours, expecting you to double text or demand answers. Instead, you go about your day as if nothing happened. You don't need their acknowledgement, and you certainly don't need their attention. Your world doesn't revolve around their whims. That kind of unshakable demeanor doesn't just disarm them. It forces them to re-evaluate their approach. Emotion is the currency of relationships. The person who invests the least emotionally holds the most power. When you show no emotion, you're telling them, "You don't dictate how I feel. I dictate how I feel." That kind of strength is rare, and it's magnetic. People are drawn to those who remain steady in the face of uncertainty, who don't crack under pressure, who refuse to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing them sweat. To master this, you must train yourself to detach. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about your peace of mind than you do about someone else's opinion or behavior. It means you're no longer chasing external validation because you've found it within yourself. The less you need from others, the more power you hold over your own life. When someone realizes they can't control your emotions, they lose their leverage. They start to see you as unshakable, untouchable, and unbreakable. And that's when the dynamic shifts. They're no longer testing you, they're chasing you. But by then, you're already too focused on yourself to care. Step 11. Let them feel the loss. Loss is one of the most powerful teachers. When someone distances themselves from you, your instinct might be to close the gap, to remind them of your presence, to ensure they don't forget you. Resist that urge. The most powerful move you can make is to let them feel your absence. Let them experience life without you in it. Here's the harsh truth. People don't value what's always there. They take it for granted. But when it's gone, when they can no longer reach out and get your attention whenever they want, they start to feel the void. And that void grows louder with every passing day. They begin to miss the little things, the conversations, the support, the presence they once overlooked. And as that realization sinks in, they're forced to confront the consequences of their actions. Letting them feel the loss isn't about being spiteful or playing games. It's about showing them what they've lost without saying a word. When you walk away and focus on yourself, you're not just creating distance, you're creating value. You're showing them that your presence was a privilege, not a guarantee. Think about this. If you keep giving someone your time and energy after they've pulled away, you're teaching them that they can have you on their terms. But when you remove yourself completely, when you let them experience life without you, you're teaching them a far more valuable lesson. Your time and energy are earned, not given freely. Let them wonder what you're doing. Let them question why you're no longer reaching out. Let them feel the weight of your absence. And in that silence, in that void, they'll start to realize just how much they've lost. Some people will never appreciate your presence until they feel the pain of your absence. But here's the beauty of letting them feel the loss. It's not about them. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your energy and redirecting it toward your growth, your goals, and your happiness. When you let someone feel the loss, you're not just walking away. You're walking toward a life that's bigger and better than anything they could have offered. Step 12. Decide their worth. When they come back, and they will, you're faced with the most important step, deciding their worth. This isn't a decision you make lightly, and it's not one you make with your heart. It's a decision you make with clarity, logic, and self-respect. Before you let them back into your life, ask yourself a simple question. Have they earned it? Have they shown through their actions, not their words, that they're worthy of your time and attention? If the answer is no, you walk away. No explanations, no apologies, no second chances. Your life is too valuable to waste on people who haven't proven themselves. But if the answer is yes, if they've genuinely changed, if they've recognized your worth and are willing to meet your standards, you set the terms. You decide how they fit into your life, if at all. You're no longer playing by their rules. They're playing by yours. Deciding their worth also means being honest with yourself. Are you letting them back in because they've truly earned it, or because you're afraid of being alone? Are you giving them another chance because they've proven their value, or because you're hoping they'll change? Be ruthless in your self-assessment. Your time, your energy, and your peace of mind are too precious to be given to someone who doesn't deserve them. This final step is where your power lies. It's where you take everything you've learned, the silence, the distance, the growth, and use it to make a decision that serves you. You're no longer the man who chases, who begs, who settles. You're the man who decides. And that decision, made with confidence and clarity, is what sets you apart. When you decide their worth, you're not just taking back control. You're setting the standard for every relationship you'll have moving forward. You're showing the world that you're a man who knows his value, who respects himself, and who demands the same from others. And that kind of man? He's unforgettable. He's unstoppable. He's the prize. Respect isn't given, it's earned. And if someone isn't willing to give it to you, they don't deserve a place in your life. These 12 steps aren't just about relationships. They're about reclaiming your power in every area of your life. If you're ready to be the man people can't ignore, comment below, "I am the prize." And if you're serious about building a life of respect and power, hit that subscribe button. Your support makes this content accessible to more men who are ready to change their lives. Remember, the moment you stop chasing is the moment you start winning. Subscribe now, and let's build this tribe of unstoppable men.